Miso butter sauce is an easy and tasty way to enhance almost any part of your bento. Today, we're roasting radishes with miso butter sauce. My name is Willow, and this is You Need a Bento. Let's make lunch. So we're going to start with the radishes. We're going to get them all trimmed up. You want to cut them into roughly even-sized pieces. You want to keep them kind of small. Keep in mind how big your bento box is and how much headroom you have there. The really big ones usually go into 8 pieces for me. Keeping in mind too that your pieces are never going to be perfectly even, and that's fine. You'll have some that are super crispy, some that aren't quite crispy. Radishes are really forgiving when you roast them. We all think about radishes as being these harsh things that you have on a cocktail platter and nobody eats them, but if you roast them, they kind of come out similar to a potato. They are a brassica, so they don't really have a harsh flavor all by themselves. It's just the fact that they're raw. Okay. Now how I like to do these is I put them in a preheated cast iron pan. Now this was preheated at 400 degrees for probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes. So that pan is incredibly hot. We're going to throw a little bit of oil into our radishes. We don't really need to season our radishes too much because they're going to get covered in miso butter sauce. You do want to be a slightly more liberal with the oil than you might otherwise be, just because they are going into a very hot oven. My pan did cool down a little bit more than I would want it to. Annie decided she wanted to sit in it. So I had to move quickly to get her out of the way. To make our miso butter sauce, we're going to take about 2 tablespoons of butter. You kind of want to go for an unsalted butter, but if you have only salted, go with a little less miso. When you store your miso, you want to put plastic wrap on top of it. The lid fits nicely. Like, there's nothing wrong with the lid, but the lid is not gonna, it's gonna provide the airspace, hi Annie, that you kind of don't want, because it gets hard and then really hard to use. So we're gonna go with a tablespoon of miso. And you can adjust this to your liking. And my preferred tool is a rubber spatula. You're just going to, if you've ever creamed butter for cookies, it's the same idea. You're just going to mix it all up. And this miso butter sauce is also really good on, anything. I usually like to grill rice balls. You make your rice ball up and then you throw it in a preheated. I use cast iron because I can get it nice and hot and it keeps its heat very well. But you throw them face down into a cast iron pan and let them brown or char a little bit on the outside. And then you brush your miso butter sauce on. In the summer, when you do corn on the barbecue, miso butter sauce is really good on that too. There's a lot of, honestly, there's so many things that you can use miso butter sauce in. So even if you have extra sauce, throw it in the fridge and then try it on whatever you want. And some things you'll like, some things you won't, but without experimenting, you won't know. Okay, you want kind of a creamy consistency like that. Well mixed in, you don't see pockets of butter or pockets of miso. Trust me though, biting into a chunk of miso, that's not a fun experience. And that's our miso butter sauce that we will put on our radishes once they come out of the oven. Now our radishes are all done in the oven. You can see how they're all wrinkly, some's a little bit charred. That's exactly what we're after. We're just gonna stick those in a bowl. We're going to take our miso butter sauce. We're just going to take little bits at a time so that it melts nicely, and you don't want to overdo it. Stuff is a bit strong. You're just going to press it into your radishes so the heat has a chance to melt the butter and coat your radishes. It gives that salt that a lot of vegetables are needing. And see the browning on the bottom of some of them. They do really remind me of potatoes. And if you're going, say, on the keto diet, radishes will be a very good friend to you.
So tasty and good for you. Try it out and see what you think. I'd love to hear about it. See you next time.